Hello and welcome to our session, Marketing Automation and Typo3. I will show you today how marketing automation works and how Lux Marketing can help you to start with automation processes in Typo3. We will start today with three most basic topics about marketing automation. These are lead nurturing, customer segmentation, and content personalization, especially if we are talking about website marketing automation. There are a few other interesting fields of marketing automation, apps and email, etc. But we will focus today on the website automation processes that can be implemented with Lux. So the first thing I want to show you is the lead nurturing process. Lead nurturing means mostly the follow-up, resubmission, and reminder management for users on your website. If you're thinking of a user is interacting with your white paper segment, or with your references, with your job attendings, or your services, price lists, etc. If you're providing any white papers, or if you're providing different services, and somebody comes to your website and is firstly interested in your services site and is probably downloading one or two of your informations, like the brochures or the price lists, you don't know if he or she is interested into that product, if he's ready to buy it, or is he probably just looking around, see what product will fit to our needs. And if you're not knowing in which status some lead is, then it's very hard to give him the next relevant content information, to provide him the next information, the next helpful content. With lead nurturing, we know in which status that lead is. That's because we know with scoring or other metrics where that lead is. Let's say a lead is coming the first time on your site, and the first time he is interacting with one of your services, then you can say he's not very familiar, mostly not very high in the customer journey process. And we keep track on that lead status and scoring, and sooner or later he will be coming to that stage where you want to personally interact with him. And until this stage, marketing automation can help you to provide everything fully automated and perfect fitting for his or her needs. The segmentation is the second part. As you may know, not every lead is interested in the same products or services that you're providing. Let's say you're an agency, like most of you probably are. You have different aspects in your work. Some of you may provide technical services, others will offer social media or content management, or content production, or advertising. And with the segmentation, you can divide every users into groups so that you know this segment of users is interested in your social media content production. The next segment is probably interested into your technical knowledge, and third group is probably interested in job applications. These segmentations helps you to interact with those users in a more specific way. The personalized content, the last thing I want to theoretically speak about today, is how to fit content into the user's customer journey. We've recognized somebody's interested in your services, technical services. So the next time he is visiting your page or some of your websites, then you might want to present him probably a pop-up with the possibility of get in touch. And when you know that somebody is interested and he has reached a certain level of lead status of scoring, then you can show that person a pop-up, or you can personalize content on your website and give him the last kick to get in touch and to show him that content that might be interesting for him and not interesting for others. So that was all I wanted to talk about for getting the basic knowledge to provide everybody the same status. And now we are in that marketing automation knowledge basement. I want to show you how Lux Marketing Automation Extension can help you build websites and marketing automation processes. After the presentation, I want to show you exclusively our new partnership program, which might be interesting for one of your agencies. And so please stay tuned and watch until the end. What I now show you is the backend of our website in an anonymized version of it. So the preview instance is provided with data that is not related to real data. This anonymization allows you to show some interesting facts without exposing any uses. You might already use T3OD in version 10 or probably already version 11. If you're using that, then you know there's a new dashboard module in T3OD. Lux is providing a dashboard for your visitors and some key performance indicators as external referrers, recurring visitors in relation to single visitors, and how many page views on the last days, and who are the hottest leads. This dashboard can be individualized, but the most interesting thing about Lux are coming if you're watching. If we're going to the Lux segment here down below, we have 4 new modules that are fully integrated in T3OD and where you can analyze and build workflows or look at your leads. The last thing is the Lux Letter tool. It's a newsletter extension that provides simple newsletter publishing processes, and you mostly know all newsletter key performance stuff. But first of all, we want to have a look at the analysis part. In the analysis part, you can have a detailed view on the statistics of your website performances. Here you see an activity log on the right side. The upper right corner is used to show every single activity that has been tracked on your website, from downloads, from identifying workflows, etc. On the upper left side, you see the page visits and the downloads in the last week on this dashboard, and the news page visits, top browsers that are used, top 10 most visited page and downloads. If you're using the news extension, then you see the most visited use, and if you're using Solar, you see all the used search terms. And of course, the social media sources on the down below here on the right part. In our case, it's mostly used for Twitter. That's not very surprising because we are very active there. If you want to have updates, follow In2Code Twitter account and you will find some interesting coder stuff. And yeah. Coming to the second part is the page visits and downloads section where you can filter and search for very specific pages on your site or areas of the page, like you want to know every page that has typo 3 in it, or you're searching for specific page UIDs, and after that you know exactly on that page, this page, the 119 in our case, is the Lux landing page. And if you're filtering, then you will find interesting facts about the page, visits in the last week or month. Here it is, both pages, one on the preview and one on the live website. So if you're using multiple websites on one typo 3 instance, you can filter for every single domain, and so you have a very detailed knowledge about every website in your backend. Okay, we have now we see all the page visits in the last week. That's standard. If we want to see a much larger scale on data, we use now about 1 year, let's say exactly 1 year, from October to October on last year, and then this page visits view here is updated to a monthly view. And here we see in August there was not too many visitors on the site, and also in December quite normal. We see no downloads here. That is a misleading data. Of course, there are downloads on that page, but because we are in the preview instance, you can't see the downloads. We also can use that filters in order to just see everybody or every visitor that has a category scoring. I come to that later in a specific segment. I talked before about customer segmentation. We in Lux use the system categories to segment. And if we want to see everybody who is on the page Lux and also has a category for the business means everybody who is interested in get in touch with us very, very specifically, already has filled out a contact form or already has been on a specific site that is talking about our businesses. Here you can see now there are only 400 visitors in the last year that has been on that page with a scoring in business in the domain In2Code. If I click that visitors, I can see an overview of all leads that has been on the website and are in this filter. If I click on details, and that's the cool thing about it, you can see very detailed facts about every single lead that has been on the website. We show the detail sites. I will show you the detail site of a lead here. Here you can find myself, but there are also others that has been anonymized, like here this Axel Smith. Here we can have a look on the lead Axel Smith and see all the activities he has done, the conversion funnel he has been through, his scoring over time, and the category scoring of Lux in that case. If he has more category scorings, then you will find all them next to each other here. And below, well, I show you the other stuff later. No, let's go through it now. Here in the lower part, right, you see everything that we have identified from the user. We know that he's using the operating system Windows 10. It's a desktop device and he's using the Chrome browser. that profile is matched into a value, and that fingerprint value is used to recurrently identify that lead. Through to the case that he has already been filling out one of our forms, he is used to email for link form. We know his email address. So if he's using another device and coming back to our website, probably with a smartphone, and he's filling out another form in his mobile device, then these two leads will be matched into one and the profile will be updated, and then we know he has two different devices and is logged in with both of these devices. Here in the properties section, we find every data he is providing actively to us. In the email for link form, we are only requesting the email address and the acceptance of the privacy. Because without privacy accepted, you probably will know about the GDPR rules. You are not allowed to do or process any data without privacy checked. Actively check on your form. Yeah, that's probably a very interesting lead because he is scoring about 58. The scoring is calculated individually on websites depending on how you want to go on with it. In our case, we have the calculation matched to our needs, and I think it's standardized is already very helpful for most cases. We are using 10 points, or we're giving every lead 10 points for visiting our website, 1 point for every site he is visiting on our website, 10 points for downloading any any white papers or filling out a form, and he will lose 1 scoring point per day when he's not on a website. That means a lead that's been on a website for a while and no longer is returning to the website is getting colder and colder. You can see it as somebody who is visiting a store and leaving it, coming back the next day, requesting some information, and then never returning. That means he has probably gone to another store and found what he wanted there, or he is not interested in the product or services at all. Okay, let's see what we can find in the analysis module and in the lead segments. We have the page visits and the downloads and the news segment. I want to show you the news segment too, because that's a very popular extension and you might use it in most of your websites. This news extension is fully supported and looks so that you can analyze every news that has been viewed. You know who has been viewing it. If you're clicking on one or if you're clicking on one of the news, you will find every lead in detail who has visited that news. You can also filter for specific news or category scorings, the same as on the page visits module. The next feature is the link listener. The link listener is a very mighty tool for all your call to action buttons, all your links on your website. You can track the performance of every link if you want to. We use it for the most used websites and most used call to action buttons because you want to know how they are performing. I will show you one example. When we're visiting our website, you will find one call to action very prominent on the first page here in the upper section. Get to the interviews, that call to action. And you want to know how many people who are visiting the site are clicking on that link. And with link listener, you simply can add a new link listener, give them a description title and set the link, or give it a category if you want to, and after that you can see everyone who is using that link and can calculate how good is the performance and benchmark it and see how many are using them. I've used it on the demonstration button on a website. I can say that 36 users have clicked on that link, and I see every single lead who has used it. And if I go to the show details, I will see the same details as you can see on the page visits, news, etc. The same here with the search. The search feature will provide data for your search terms and count them up so that you can know what search terms has been used by your leads, like security or Power Mail, In2Publish, whatever. Every search term is counted up, and you can also filter it and search it and date, time, etc. That's the analysis module. Let's switch over to the leads module. I already showed you some parts of the leads module. What I didn't show you is the overview. In the dashboard overview, you can also find the activity log, the hottest leads, the identified and not identified in relation, in order to give you a simple overview of your website users. For most of the websites I know, they are not very good in knowing the key performance indicators of their website, the relevant ones. Most of the time only the page visits are counted, or bounce rate, or click-through rates, or something like that, but you don't really know who is filling out a form, who is getting in touch with you, who is downloading and interacting with your content. And with the leads module, you can find out very detailed information about all the leads that are visiting your website and hand them over to your sales team or your key account management unit. Call it like you wish. We are using the identified ones only. We want to know who is interested in looks, has a minimum scoring of 30, and has been on the website in the last month. With that filter, we are now able to see every identified lead who's interested in looks for the last month. I can simply download them and hand them over to the inbound marketing team or any others and tell them, hey, these are probably interested. Please get in touch with them, get contact, and see if you can help them. Here we find our Alex Smith from the last visit. He's not the highest scoring, but there are also one or two issues that you need to considering if you're using looks with the fingerprinting method. The problem, or the thing you need to know, is that the identification only works if the users are using different devices. If you have users that are using very similar devices, like Apple mobile users, most of them are using the same display, same system, same OS, and then somebody like this user can get a very high scoring, but it's not really one single user, but it's more users in one profile. You see that? And to avoid something like that, you can also use cookies. But if you're not using cookies, then you need to be aware of that information, that it's not 100% accurate. Like in every other marketing automation tool, but it's with more and more focus on privacy, you will find out that most of the marketing automation tools out there are facing the same issues, and the best way to deal with it is to probably blacklist some some of these leads that you might think are bots or might be wrongly or probably completely deleted and start over, because these data are not very helpful and can cause some irritation. Okay, we now finished with the leads and the analysis modules. These are fully free open source extensions. You can just download it if you're in a LTS version on Typo3 and using Composer mode. It's just downloading, installation, and running. Some things need to be configured, like the email full link or the pop-ups. But the pop-ups are part of the workflow extension that is in the Lux Enterprise version. Here the automation can really be magical. In my opinion, it's very cool to see how this works. If you want to send out nurturing mails to interested leads, or you want to send out login, or you want to send out emails to your sales representative, you can all find them here in the segment workflows. We have here 6 examples for workflows. The first is nurturing mails for Lux lead. Every Lux lead that has been filling out a form and seems to be interested gets an email with, hey, here, that's an automatically generated email, and that's exactly what Lux can do for you, and so on. The next one is for the Zermatt. It's another software tool where we're providing a demonstration, an online demonstration, and somebody is filling out that form for getting access to the demonstration version, then he will get the login data. The third one is a lightbox. The lightbox is a pop-up that is being shown for every second visit on the Lux page. The idea behind it is somebody who is visiting the Lux page a second time is probably more interested into that service, and we are showing those people a pop-up where they see, hey, you've been already here, that's what Lux is doing. He's showing a pop-up to everybody who might be interested in the services. Let's get in touch and have a demonstration talk. The fourth one is the public identification to Slack. We have a specific Slack channel where every lead that has been identified is pushed in, and the sales team is getting a push notification, and in that channel we are talking who is getting in touch with it or is already in contact with that lead, and that's our process for the sales accepted leads. But if you're using other CRM tools or other tools, you can also publish stuff to that tool. Catch landing page, email full, link downloads. That is, that's not a relevant workflow, not a really relevant workflow. The last one is sending out leads with high scoring to Slack channel of Alex. That's for him to have a track of all leads that reaching a specific scoring where there can be a bug or might be some issue, just to have a track of that. Let's see how such a workflow is done. I will show it to you on that example here. Workflows are done with 3 simple steps. You add a description, you're doing some triggers, and the last step is you want to have the action. The first thing is the description. You want to have an overview of all your workflows, so you need to give them a very good title to find it again in a list of workflows. The next thing you need to consider is the triggers. We have in a standard configuration 8 different triggers, but if needed, we can also add some of them, add new ones, depending on every installation. The most common lead properties or triggers are by lead properties. We want to trigger somebody who's identified or somebody who's reached a specific scoring or somebody who is checked by a specific property. We have here the example of the scoring. The first trigger is the minimum scoring of the lead is 54. We'll decrease it to 40. And the minimum scoring of the lead in the category looks is 10. And last but not least, the lead has to be identified. So these triggers are leading to the action. In the action, you can add actions. If you don't want to send out one mail, you can also send out 2 mails, or you want to send out a mail and publish it to Slack that the mail has been sent or something like that. So you can add actions. We have here about 10 standardized actions that you can use, like the content manipulation or the notification or the lead management stuff. In the content manipulation, you want to show up pop-ups, or you want to hide elements on the site, or you want to add elements on your site, or you want to redirect somebody. That can be useful if you're using a site where you're logged in users, and these logged in users should go directly to the login page and not coming to the main site. That can be a useful case. Or you want to send out notifications. In this case, we are using the notifications and an email. And in that email, you will find all these variables, fields that can be static values or variables. We help us know HTML, but you see here, you can use the full name, email address, company, visitor location, etc. in that mailing. And you've sent that out to the receiver. Here it is, my email address. That's to avoid any emails to clients on in that preview instance. We've used the mail of my own. Okay, we save that. And that's all you need to do to get the first workflows done. It's very simple to use. It's very handy, and I think it's very good for everybody who's new to marketing automation to get used to the stuff. The last thing I want to show you is the URL shortener. That URL shortener in the marketing automation tool is very useful for every external sites that you're in. Let's say you're using LinkedIn or Twitter or YouTube channel, and do you want to use links there and link it to your site, or you can also use it from one external page to another. Probably you're sending out a post on LinkedIn where you're promoting your YouTube channel. Then you can use these link shorteners to lead them from your LinkedIn page, redirect them to your page, and then get over to YouTube and count them. And every time somebody's count is hit, then you can see who has been doing that. That's very helpful for all campaignings and social media activities and external referrals that you want to track and have an overview about who is using it. And you can also take a very speaking URL. Most of the time you are using that page segmentation in the URL paths here, and with a shortener you can use short URLs that are also for out-of-home ads useful. Let's say we want to have out of home, and we name it in the looks categories business. Yeah. That should be leading to any page About Us. We take the About Us page. Save and close. And as soon as it is closed, you can use it and use it on any page you want. And if you're using some banners or anything else like that, you just copy it, use it, and everyone who's coming to that page is redirected and counted up. We are almost finished now. The last thing I want to show you is the newest update of our extension that's providing an inline analytics on every page, so that you know exactly for your editors how many page visits has your content, how many are coming from external sites, going to another site, the entries and the leaves are counted up, and you know how many are coming and finishing or finish their visit. You know the page visits all counted on the last week. That's very helpful for all users. And yeah, that's the last thing. We come now to the announcement. I want to announce that we are working highly on A/B testing. Next feature that will come into Lux is A/B testing native in Typo3. For everybody who's in the marketing, you probably want to see if that title is better, that call to action is working efficiently, or you want to have another picture on your site. And all that is possible with our A/B testing. We also want to implement A/B testing for Lux Letter, but that will come later. In our roadmap is also the ad conversion tracking with the UTM parameters that will come probably later next year. For our partners, we are providing all the services that you've seen now for their own agency website for free. They get an exclusive discount for all further partner customers. The Lux Enterprise is then generating a revenue every month for our partners. You can expand your services with marketing automation, consulting, and other services around Lux. We are assigning requests for Lux to our partners depending on their field of activity and their region, and we are naming and linking partners on our coming soon partner page. How your customers will benefit, and you as campaign managers, you have a proof of the success on your website. You can show in detail how is your website performing, how is your campaigns are performing, and how many leads are generated on your website. You can give them a consulting on lead management, marketing automation, lead segmentation, categorization, etc. And it's, last but not least, a very helpful feature for Typo3 editors. What's required to get a partnership? First of all, we want you to join our Slack channel. I will provide the slide in a link. And we want you to send out a blog post or build a landing page or shoot out on social media with a link to Lux for a commitment and to show up that you are interested in taking that partnership serious. We want you to participate in feedbacks and user surveys and your commitment to bug fixes. Yeah, that's all for now. Thank you for joining that session. Hope to see you soon in person or in the next meeting. Have a great day. Goodbye.